Aviation podcast is presented as entertainment, not flight instruction. Though some participants are certified flight instructors, their comments, opinions, and discussions of flying techniques are theirs alone. None of the co-hosts or guests on this podcast are acting as your flight instructor. Please consult your own CFI for guidance on your specific flight training, aeronautical knowledge, and aircraft operation. This is the Stuck Mic AvCast, an aviation podcast about learning to fly, living to fly, and loving to fly.
Hey everyone, Carl Valeri with Sun and Fun Radio. We're reporting here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026, and we're here with David Raff. He's got some amazing models here with Imperial radio-controlled club, and they're right there in Mulberry, or I think it's Mulberry.
Right, yeah, we're actually located on Highway 60. Used to be, well, actually right next door what used to be the old Badcock warehouse. And we've been there since about 1972. The club itself has been active, actually one of the oldest still active flying clubs by the AMA. And we just have a ball with it.
Yeah, I have a ball driving by and watching you guys. I've been doing that for God knows how many decades, and it's absolutely terrific. I just fear going in because I might get too involved and start buying airplanes.
Guaranteed. No question at all.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Well, we actually started with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 14 years ago. The very first year the event was introduced back in 2010. And each year we've been asked to come back and represent model aviation segment for the show. And we get many of our members that we can now. They bring out their toys and some of their not so toys, demonstrate. They show to the public, answering questions, and try to get kids from all ages, both the young ones and the not-so-young ones, interested in aviation if you're not already into it. It just gives you another way of getting into aviation.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting how many people get started in aviation because of this. You know, like with me, I spent my career in aviation. I started with models, and then it goes from there. What's amazing is how far we've come. And you were talking about the aircraft. Tell us a little bit about the aircraft in front of us and also how fast it flies.
Well, the aircraft that we're looking at right now is a F-22 Raptor. It's an all-foam built up. The aircraft comes completely as you see it. It's there's about 13 different variations or shades of gray, which simulates the full-scale F-22 Raptor. It has the retracts, working flaps. I've actually even incorporated a simulated afterburner. So when I throttle up on it, the light gets brighter and brighter. Those are done by LED lights. And it's always a showstopper out here.
Absolutely. Hey, you know, for those people that are listening right now, how can they find you online?
Well, there is a website. It's imperialrcclub.com. From there, there's directions to our flying site, information on both the club, how to join, as well as the governing organization, which is the AMA, or Academy of Model Aeronautics, that they kind of oversee and make sure we keep everything in check.
So I'm sure you get this question often, and this has always been my fear, getting started and starting to fly an aircraft is, you know, crashing the plane. Is there someone that can help me fly this?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have several introductory flight instructors. If you just have to either stop out the field, you know, anytime the gates opened up, or on the weekends it's usually a little bit, you know, busier, we can put you in contact with one of the flight instructors. We actually have our own aircraft that can be used for your first couple of flights, so you get a feel of it. And the way that actually works is we have the instructor tied to your radio control by means of what's called a buddy box. Sometimes they're wireless, sometimes they're corded, but it allows the flight instructor to maintain control of the aircraft if you run into an issue or a problem. So it makes for a much more enjoyable, safer, and happier flight experience.
So if someone's starting out, what type of costs are involved to get started with this hobby?
For the most part, we would probably say under $200 in that price range. We don't go out and buy an F-22 Raptor to start with. But just as if you're flying, full scale, you're going to learn in a high wing aircraft. It's like a Cessna 172, 182, somewhere along that line. There's several variations. I have a P-18 Cub over there, which is also all foam. Great trainer aircraft, and it gives you all the same basic techniques, and you learn the same way. So it doesn't have to be real expensive, although it can get there.
You've been doing this a while, still having fun?
Absolutely. It's one of those things, even if we have a mishap, you're going to go back to the shop, put it back together again, and hopefully be able to fly them again.
Well, this is a great place to learn about the Imperial RC Club and also about flying these aircraft. And they're from beginners to people that are more advanced like yourself. It's something that's open to everybody, isn't it?
Absolutely. No question about it.
And again, how can they find you?
The website would be the easiest way, and that's the ImperialRCClub.com. ImperialRCClub.com. Anything else you'd like to tell people about the hobby of RC modeling? It's a blast.
Yeah. I think that sums it up right there. Well, this is Carl Valeri. I'm reporting here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026 with David Raff of the Imperial RC Club, ImperialRCClub.com. Thanks again, David.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. Carl Valeri with Sun and Fun Radio, and I'm here with Tapp from Atlas Aviation. For those that don't know, Atlas Aviation is based here in Plant City. Here we are at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026, and this is such an exciting event, and it's one I've been coming to since 2012, and it's a family event, promotes aviation, trains, and everything that's fun. And so, Abby, first, welcome, and tell us a little bit about Atlas and what they're doing here at this event.
Thank you very much for having me. So today we are more so showcasing our flight school. We're a Part 61 flight school at Plant City Airport. We are the only flight school here. As well as that, we're also the FBO. So we do all of the fueling and the towing, as well as teach people how to fly airplanes. So over at Plant City Airport, we actually have 2 brand new RV-12s, little light sport aircraft, super fun to fly. So we've got 2 of those here, and then we also have 2 very nice classic Steam 172s. And today we're actually offering some discounted discovery flights. If you purchase one with us today, they're only $150 for an hour up in the air. We are doing some same-day discovery flights down there over at the end of the hangar. So if anyone wanted to go up today, that's an option. We're also doing some discovery flight raffles. So for free, you can enter the raffle, and at the end of the day, we'll call out a couple folks and raffle off some free discovery flights. So we're just bringing awareness that we're here at the airport, training people and hoping to spread to the youth the love of aviation. So we're super happy to be here.
Absolutely. For those that don't know the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, people know why I love it here. How about you? What resonates with you? Why do you keep coming back?
I love it's a very local event, and Plant City Airport is beautiful. It's very much general aviation. Everyone is so friendly and kind here and just eager to teach other folks and learn. It's a wonderful community, and everyone from the surroundings area comes around, and people bring in all sorts of aircraft for the kiddos to check out. There's model trains over in one of the hangars, planes flying around all day. There's even some gyros flying out today for everyone to see. I think the Young Eagles are probably returning next year, and they do free flights for the kids. Great program to check out if you don't know about the Young Eagles. Sure you do, but... And then, we also have the car show. So it's just a really good family event for everyone to come out to and just learn about trains, planes, and automobiles. So,
one of the things that's really neat is you go out there and you see these really interesting airplanes that you've never seen before. One of the things I love about it is everybody's so approachable. If you're sitting there on the fence, just walk up to the person and say, hey, what is that?
I agree. Anyone is willing to chat and talk and teach, and we've got all our CFIs out here today. We even have, forgot to tell you guys, an old Skycatcher 162 out at the corner down there, and if you haven't seen one of those, look it up. They don't make them anymore, actually. So we used to train out of those, but we have that for the kids to get into and check it out and actually sit in the airplane and feel the controls. So we've got that down there for the kids. So
for those that are listening right now, how can they find you online?
Well, you can find us on social media or our website. Our social medias are just Atlas Aviation. We're on Facebook and Instagram. We're getting a YouTube channel going. As well as that, we just actually redid our website. Thank you, Brett Hall. It's just atlasaviation.com. So you can see all of our fleet here at Plant City and at Peter O'Knight Airport. We've got 15 planes in total now. So we're growing.
For those that don't know, that's where I got my start in aviation, Peter O'Knight Airport. I used to teach there, and the Atlas is the one that took over the flight school I worked for, and that was decades ago that I used to teach out of there. That also is a really neat destination. Talk a little bit about that, because I think there's a bit different vibe, and it's like a different island kind of world, I think.
Yeah, we love the island too. Love both the airports. We've been at Peter O'Knight since 2004 and Plant City as of 2019. We've turned this airport around big time. But over at Peter O'Knight, it's you got to fly in if you haven't. We've got 2 runways, 422, 1836. Our longest runway is 3583 feet. And when you're coming in, you're seeing the whole downtown skyline. From the air, you see MacDill right past us. So it's pretty neat getting in there. And then you got to stay under the Bravo shelf too, stay under 1,200 feet. So, but it's very neat. We're right on the water. There's a yacht club right past us with a beach. So beautiful scenery. We're working on getting a restaurant.
That would be terrific. And by the way, here in Plant City, you can fly in. You can go to different restaurants in the area. And do you have one on the field?
We don't have a restaurant on the field here at Plant City, but I'm looking to bring in food trucks. That's something I'm going to start doing, so be on the lookout for that, especially on social media. Looking to do something like the Taco Tuesdays at Arcadia and just kind of make it a recurring thing for people to be aware of. So they'll come out to Plant City and check us out.
As a matter of fact, checking out the airport, it's a really welcoming airport here. I think that's what's really cool, because when you walk in the door, there's a little spot outside. They have lounge chairs, and you can watch the airplanes take off and land. But if someone's on the fence as far as maybe taking a flight, the people here are real friendly, and you can sign up and take a discovery flight, can't you?
Yes, you sure can. You can walk right in, give us a call, or just walk in the building, too. And we have CFIs here all the time, and they'll give you all the information that you need and actually sit down and chat with you. And then if you wanted to go check out the airplanes, too, before you flew them, that's all right. We could do that.
One thing about Plant City, it's like the old days of aviation. It's, what I remember being able to get inside the fence and watch the planes, be up close and personal, and the people are very, very friendly. So if you're looking for that old school aviation, I suggest you come here to Plant City Airport. You can fly in or you can drive not far from the highway. Anything else you want to tell the folks about Atlas or about Plant City?
Well, also coming up, as we know, we have Sun and Phone. So a lot of folks will fly into Plant City to get to Lakeland Sun and Fun. If you don't want to deal with the craziness of getting into Lakeland, stop by us here and we can arrange to have rental cars and take you over there. So that's the biggest kind of aviation related event. But we also have the Strawberry Festival coming up here soon, and that is Plant City's probably biggest event, Planes and Trains #2. But if you have not been to the Strawberry Festival, you absolutely have to check it out. Come see us.
Absolutely. Strawberry Festival has some A-listers as far as music is concerned. It's an incredible event, all different events here. If you just want to come and check out even Keel Farms, you can come into Plant City Airport. Big shout out to one of our sponsors of the podcast, Keel and Curly at the time, and now Keel Farms. They are very welcoming, and it's really morphed over time. It's a great restaurant and a great place. If you don't want to go there for the alcohol, obviously you're flying in. There's so many other things to do there, aren't there?
I agree. I've been there myself, and that's one of my favorite spots. The white cranberry wine is delicious that they have in Christmas time, but that is a short drive from here, and they're super nice folks here. Fun fact, the owner's son actually used to work here. He was a line guy, and I think now he's flying in the Air Force, some Learjets, so he's come a long way. So
yeah, absolutely. And also, fun fact, one of the family members is who I fly with at the airlines, and one of his nephews used to be a flight instructor here at Atlas Aviation. Big shout out to the Keel family, and they've been a big part of this community and the aviation community here, and through sponsoring our podcast and letting us transmit out of their hangar. Just wonderful people and a really good advocate for aviation, just like Atlas Aviation has been a real big advocate. Where can they find you again on the internet?
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook, just Atlas Aviation, and then our website is just atlasaviation.com.
atlasaviation.com. Abby Tapp, it's been wonderful speaking with you. I'm going to go out and see if I can find some corn dogs or something fundy and check out those model and some strawberries, of course, strawberry shortcake. I don't need that for my waistline. That's for sure. Again, I appreciate you talking to us here at Sun and Fun Radio, and you can listen to this all year long at liveatc.net/SNF. This is Carl Valeri reporting at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. Hey everyone, Carl Blair with Stuck Mike AvCast reporting for Sun and Fun Radio, and I'm here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. Steve Warmuth is actually with Commemorative Air Force, and they're doing rides today in this really cool airplane. But first of all, we got to talk a little bit about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Is not this the coolest show?
Oh, this is great. We were out here last year, and it's even bigger this year than it was last year.
You know what's cool is all the the young people that come here and get excited about aviation. And if you're into planes, if you're into trains, automobiles, this is the place to be. And it's just such a welcoming environment. But let's get back to Commemorative Air Force. What is a Commemorative Air Force? And we'll talk a little bit about the planes you have.
Well, the Commemorative Air Force, we've got chapters, units all across the country. There goes Ike right there. We've got units all across the country. We've got about 180, a little more than 180 aircraft. Our wing is the Tampa Bay wing. We're based out of Lakeland. We operate two aircraft, a 1943 PT-19 and a 1955 L-26 Aero Commander. The PT-19 was one of the aircraft that the women Air Force service pilots trained in, and our L-26 was one of the Aero Commanders that was assigned to the White House to transport Eisenhower.
So if someone's trying to figure this out, because a lot of people don't know either one of those airplanes, so what do they look like since we're on radio right now?
The PT-19 currently is in the pre-war blue and yellow paint job, and the Aero Commander is sporting something that everybody would probably recognize as the Air Force One paint job.
So what's the importance of the Commemorative Air Force? Why are you part of this?
We want to make living history. It's really nice to see an airplane in an aviation museum, but something is completely different when you hear the engines start up, when you see them fly, when you fly in them like you can with us. So we want to bring as much of that living history to people as we possibly can.
I find when I can touch it, when I can see it, I remember it. I don't know about you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The more senses you can get involved, the more of an impact it makes.
Someone who's listening right now and wants to find out more online, how can they do that?
Well, you can go to our website. It's at caftampabaywing.org. There we have all of our events. Come out and see us at any of the events on there. You can reach out to us via email. And we love to see everybody out at an event and come take a ride with us.
So today you're doing rides, but you do rides in Lakeland, Florida. So it's a Tampa Bay chapter, but it's actually in Lakeland, Florida is where the airplanes are based, correct?
That's correct. We're based out of the Sun and Fun hangars, and we'll actually be at Sun and Fun this year doing the rides there. We work with the Florida Air Museum as much as we can, and yeah.
So if I want to get involved, is there a big cost for somebody who's just getting started?
So the first thing you have to do is you have to join the national portion of the Commemorative Air Force. That's $225 a year, and then our wing dues are $50 a year.
So I want to go for a flight now. How do I do that?
You can just reach out to us, come see us at one of our events, and the PT-19 has one seat for sale in it. You can ride in the back. And then our Aero Commander, you can ride either up front as a co-pilot, or you can ride in the president's seat in the back.
So remind us again, this is an Aero Commander that was used for transport, for executive transport.
That's correct, yes.
So most of us think of the big jet. We don't think of a small turboprop. But like who flew in this?
So Eisenhower flew in it. This is the aircraft that they used for small hops. He would use the normal Air Force One is Lockheed Constellation for the longer trips, but he bought a family farm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and that airplane wouldn't make it into the farm. At the time, helicopters were considered not quite safe enough yet for the President of the United States, so they put out a bid for an executive transport that had good short field capability, could land on a grass strip, and that's what he would take between D.C. and Gettysburg. In fact, he had a heart attack while he was in office, and they used their fleet of Aero Commanders to fly not only Eisenhower, but also his staff back and forth because he was at his farm in Gettysburg recuperating from his heart attack. So he kind of ran the government from there, and whenever they needed to fly somebody out to him, they had this fleet of aircraft that they could use to get to the farm.
So these fly now. Who are the people that actually fly them now?
I'm one of those pilots. We also have 3 other pilots. We're always looking for more pilots to come out and join us. This is the only one of those aircraft left flying. There is one in the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio, and then there's another one in a military history museum in Houma, Louisiana. But of the original 15 that they ordered, this is the only one left flying.
Wow, that's a big piece of history right there, and it's actually flying.
Yes.
That's pretty. I got goosebumps here. I want to get up in this airplane now. Again, remind us where we can find out more on the internet to join.
Yeah, you can go to commemorativeairforce.org, and then for us in the Tampa Bay Wing, it's caftampabaywing.org.
You know, Steve, there's a few young people that are lining up here at your booth because they're excited to see this great piece of history that you have here. Before I let you go, is there anything else you want to tell us about the Commemorative Air Force or what you do here in Lakeland?
Commemorative Air Force, we're here to educate, inspire, and honor, and we love communicating the history of these aircraft. We feel very fortunate to have them to be the custodians of these aircraft. Come on out and see us. We'll talk to anybody about the history. We love sharing things.
Well, we appreciate what you do, and we appreciate all that you've done, all the work that you've done here. Keep up the great work, and we can't wait to see you at Sun and Fun. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you very much. We'll see you at Sun and Fun.
Yeah, and this is Carl Valeri reporting at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. Make sure you listen to this all year long on liveatc.net/SNF. Well, folks, this is Carl Valeri at Planes, Trains, Automobiles 2026. I'm here with Liam Hawkins, who has the most iconic airplane I've seen in a long time. To say it's colorful is an understatement. Liam, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Carl.
You know, one of the things that's so wonderful about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles here in Plant City is it's open to everybody. It's a big tent, and that's what I'm so excited about. Not just planes, but trains, automobiles. But the one neat thing is that they can come up and touch an airplane that looks like this. Describe the plane to us.
Well, it's a 1967 Mooney M20F. So a low wing, 4-seat, single engine, Lycoming 200 horsepower motor, Hartzell prop. It goes about 155 knots on about 10.5 gallons an hour, so it's super efficient. And it happens to feature 45 colors and hundreds of geometric shapes, all triangular in nature.
You know, one of the things I really love about it is that it's one of those planes that must have taken a lot of passion to put this paint job on. So tell me a little bit about how that happened.
Actually, this one's kind of it was kind of funny. It was a jump off a cliff. So a buddy of mine in St. Pete, who's an artist, right when I bought this plane 4 years ago, he called it ugly. It was white with a stripe, and the paint was flaking off. And so he was right. And he said he wanted to fix it. So I went through the process of trying to figure out how to get a non-aviation painter involved with an aviation paint shop. So fast forward, we found a paint shop that would allow an artist to come in and do the color layer between the base white and the clear that the paint shop would eventually do. But the fun part was that I described the paint job in 2 sentences and said, no mock-ups, no reveals, no updates, total blackout. I don't get to see it till it's done. So I gave him a couple of sentences along the lines of colorful, geometric shapes, straight lines, asymmetric is okay, no swirls, no squiggly lines, no circles, no portraits, just maybe triangular or diamond shapes. And I didn't know what it would look like.
And it came out, and it looks absolutely fabulous. And what he's done with both the color and the transition, you can't ask for more.
Very talented artist, Matt Kress.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how did you get into flying? Just a little bit of your background.
So I'm 45, and I didn't start flying until I was 35. I had a lifelong fascination with engineering, aviation, aerospace, adventure, and all things with motors, but I was afraid. I've had a deep, deep-seated fear of flying my whole life, and right now it's managed, but it's not completely gone. And so really it was fear and excuses that I put it off for 20 years, I feel like. And eventually one day I was like, if I'm 35, if I put it off, I'm going to grow stale in my ways and I'll never start. And so I took the leap 10 years ago, and I was terrified. And it took a lot to work through my fear. And actually, a supporter of your show, Nate Van Coops, was one of the 2 pilots that were really key in helping me work through that fear. Between Pat Brown with AOPA and Nate Van Coops, the pilot and CFI and DME and author and fashion designer based also at Whitted Airport, they gave me 5 really key pieces of advice. Can I share them with you today?
Absolutely.
Great. One was, we're in Florida. Fly early in the day before the heat was causing all that turbulence and the storms develop. Avoid caffeine and any kind of stimulants before the flight because it can raise your anxiety and fear response. Do not physically manifest your stress. So sit back, breathe, loosen your grip. The CFI is working for you. And so if steep turns and emergency maneuvers and all this stuff is overwhelming or too much, you can tell your CFI, until further notice, we're doing 5-degree banks, straight lines, and so on, until you get used to and comfortable with the general atmosphere and environment of the plane, the noises, the sequence of things, how things behave, get used to the turbulence while you're not doing a steep turn and they're pulling the power on you and so on. And the last of the 5 pieces of advice was you can change CFIs. Something I should have done, something they told me and I still didn't listen until a little late in the process. But I think that's one a lot of us have trouble with because it's awkward. Maybe there's just one flight school and there's 3 or 30 instructors, but we have to kind of fire someone in the same room as everybody. Like it's an awkward thing, but it's the right thing too. You got to get that personality and education match.
Absolutely. And on my other show, Aviation Careers Podcast, that's one of the hardest things for everybody to do is to realize they need to change. And I'm glad you did that because now you are now an advocate for aviation just through this airplane. And how are you doing with the fear of flight?
Well, like I said before, it's managed, and so I haven't felt it in a few months. But to tell you the truth, this summer I got it back, and it was hard for me to shake for a couple of months. I did some flying in Colorado this summer. I did a 6-week tour with the plane. Kicked it off with Oshkosh, flew Florida to Osh, brought the plane out west to Colorado, went around different parts of the country, made my way out to Pennsylvania to visit Lycoming and down the eastern seaboard. In Colorado, I had the opportunity to get with a mountain flying instructor that also owns the same model Mooney as me, so really proficient there, and fly up to Leadville, the highest elevation airport in North America at almost 10,000 feet. Well, we had to clear 14,200-foot saddles, and we're in a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder single-engine plane, and that's quite an adventure. And the margins are thin, the air is thinner. Any little downdraft is something that takes you 10 minutes to recover from. You're flying close to land, trying to catch updrafts, and the proximity of things and the poor performance was really anxiety-causing for me, to be honest. And that brought that kind of fear back, and anything near clouds or turbulent or windy was really rattling to me for the next few months. And it's just, I had to go back to those fundamentals, go have some easy flights and just work through it again. So it's not cured, but it's managed. And I think that there's a lot of people that aren't attempting aviation or aren't progressing in it, or maybe stepped away from it because of these fears. And I hope to inspire and encourage them to maybe dial things back and be patient with themselves, give themselves grace, and try again.
You truly have become an ambassador for aviation. So let me ask you this. Was it because of the plane or because of your vocalness, because of your fear?
I'd say it's both, but the plane gave me the platform. When people are like, hey, how do you get with these air shows and these posters and stuff? The tongue-in-cheek response is, well, my friend put color on my plane. But that gave an audience, gave a following, it gave partnerships, and that led to me having a little bit of a platform to be able to share these stories that I learned I'm not unique in. There's a lot of other people in similar situations, so I hope to help people with that.
One thing I like about you, Liam, is that you're so transparent in your fears, etc. And what do you tell those people that are flying right now that have those issues, that have those fears? And how do you be transparent with your instructor?
Wow. Let's go to your key words, transparent. You can be open. You can be vulnerable. This is not a status and tough guy thing. We're human. And your instructor should know how you feel about it. That's important. Don't just go through the motions of the training, but let them know how you feel. Even if it's going well for you, let them know how you feel. Let them know when you're having a good day or a bad day. Sometimes, even if you're a great and confident pilot, you're going to have a bad day up there, right? And you got to give yourself the grace for that. And if that's in a training environment, share that with your instructor. Whether it's a persistent fear, concern, anxiety, or challenge, or just a momentary one, be open with them. And if they're not understanding or patient with that, or if they don't know what to do with that, then connect with more instructors. And if you're having trouble with that, AOPA's there to help. I'm there to help. Talk to airshow pilots, talk to every pilot, talk to CFIs, talk to your Instagram friends, even talk to your therapist, So be open, be transparent, and speak with your instructor.
I think some people might be fearful of this bold aircraft that's sitting out there, but just remember there's a really friendly person that's behind it, and that's Liam Hawkins. Liam, I really appreciate you talking to us today. Anything else you want to tell the folks before we knock off here?
The greatest air show in the world, Sun and Fun, 2026 is April 14 through 19 in Lakeland, and I hope to see all of you there. We'll have the Mooney Anomaly and the Anomaly Lounge right next to the Pilot Welcome Center, sponsored by Phillips 66 at the Island. So hope to see you at Sun and Fun.
We'll hope you'll listen to this all year round at liveatc.net/SNF. liveatc.net/SNF. Carl Valeri reporting here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. Hey folks, Carl Valeri with Sun and Fun Radio. I'm here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026 with my friend Chris Gregory, who flies one of the coolest airplanes out here. Why is it the coolest? Because I got to go fly in it. It was so much fun. Chris, welcome to the show. And how's the show going today?
It's doing great. We've got absolute beautiful weather today. Sunshine, clear skies. Great day to be out here flying open cockpit around the patch.
So for people that don't know, you have flyingadventures.com, and that's a business where you can actually take a flight in a World War II aircraft.
Yes, we're based out of Albert Whitted Airport, downtown St. Petersburg, and we've been running this business out of there for about 12, 13 years. We've got a 1941 Boeing Stearman with the Army paint job on it, and that's our aircraft we use for the rides. We take people out from the airport out to the beach, up and down the beach. We do sightseeing rides, and also we can do aerobatic rides. So we'll take people up for a little bit of extra thrill,
I'm definitely coming out for another ride. First time we flew together was actually at Sun and Fun, which is coming up. Hopefully we'll see you there.
I'll be there at Sun and Fun for sure. I'll probably end up being there probably 4 or 5 days preparing before. I'm doing a little bit of work with the Warbirds this year, probably more than I've done in the last few years, and so I'll be there doing preparations, and then probably a few days after the show. So,
what's it like doing a show like that? I mean, for you, that's got to be tiring.
Well, it's all day. You get up in the morning, go out to the flight line, and whatever task needs to be done, we get it done. And I have my wife out there working with us, my daughter's out there working with us. And of course, I get to see all my air show friends during that week. So it's a lot of the days go by very quickly while you're out there. Yeah.
So what's it like to fly a Stearman?
Stearman is it's a special airplane to fly. And every time you get in and strap into it, you remember that the historic value of the airplane, and how many butts have sat in that seat prior to me sitting in that, and it is. We were talking about that this morning with the other pilot, and it really is a privilege to get to fly it, and it's special. That's all I can really say.
So you're truly just a steward of this aircraft, because it's going to hopefully stay and fly for many, many years after.
Yeah, I hope so. I look at it as we have this living, breathing piece of aviation history, and we get to share it with the public. And I'm hoping that when it's time for it to move on, that the next owner does the same thing that we're doing with it.
So you're a little young. How did you get to fly a World War II airplane?
I was introduced to a guy that wanted to buy an airplane, this particular airplane, and he wanted to start a business with it. So I met him, and we decided that's what we were going to do, and bought this airplane and started a biplane ride business with it. I had been doing biplane rides in Oahu prior to that with a different company, and so I had the knowledge and experience of how to run the business, and I just didn't have the capital to do it. And then Tony came along, and he wrote the checks, and I did the labor and the flying, and it worked out really, really well. So it has come down to me doing everything now, and it's it's a second full-time job, but it's great. I wouldn't do anything different.
So you're actually an airline pilot. Which one do you do more, this or the airline flying?
I probably spend more of my free time involved with the Stearman. If it's not necessarily flying it, but it's maintenance, cleaning the airplane, paperwork, or just piddling around the hangar. You know, I'll sometimes leave the house and say, "Oh, I got stuff to do at the hangar," and I'll go to the hangar, and sometimes I just sit at the desk and stare out the window and watch airplanes flying by.
Sometimes I do for therapy is just cleaning the aircraft, and that's a lot of fun. Speaking of aircraft, it's actually pulling in right now. So where can they find you real quickly?
We have a website, www.flyingadventure.com.
Flyingadventure.com. Chris Gregory, thanks so much for joining us here on Sun and Fun Radio. You can listen to this all year long at liveatc.net/SNF. This is Carl Valeri from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. Well, folks, this is Carl Valeri with Sun and Fun Radio here at Planes, Trains, Automobiles 2026. And this is one of those really exciting events where you get to meet a lot of folks that you see on YouTube and on TV. First off, I'm here with the folks from Plane Crazy Life. I'll let them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about this plane that you're sitting on, Michael.
This is a 206 Amphib. I've owned this airplane for, I think 23 years. It's a great airplane. It's got probably one of the biggest useful loads of a amphib you can come by. It's got a useful load of 1,100 pounds. And it's generally just Valerie and I in it. So we go off camping. We even carry our own firewood. I mean, I keep threatening to downsize to a Carbon Cub because I love that airplane so much, but I don't know where I'd put anything.
Right.
I'm so used to flying this truck, you know.
And so the next person that's on the show here from Plane Crazy Life and someone who I've been watching Skywagon's University online. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm from Skywagon University, which is a YouTube channel about models and types and years. And then we've joined up with Mike Kennedy here and Cole Gaither and making Plane Crazy Life, which is more of a lifestyle YouTube channel, having fun out and about like this. And it's so every now and then I get to be a geek on it and do some Skywagon University at Plane Crazy Life, so I double up.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've learned so much from your channel. Absolutely. Cole, it's great to have you here, too. And you add a little bit of flavor to all this. Not that you don't either, but you're absolutely terrific. Tell us a little bit about your background, Cole.
I have a background in aviation of about 15 years of buying and selling airplanes, but that's all I bring to the table is some buying and selling skills. These guys have more history and more... Mark's smarter than I am, and
I sell little single-engine planes. Mike's flown everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cole's flown nearly everything.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. This is always a tough question. You guys have really become ambassadors for aviation. Why are events like this so important? Mike, I'll start with you.
Well, it's just there seems to be somewhat of an oncoming pilot shortage, or at least that's what is rumored. But this just helps to kind of spread the interest and get younger people involved in aviation and just try to keep these general aviation airplanes flying.
Absolutely. So how about you? You actually are a great ambassador for people to learn about those aircraft types. But why here? Why would you come to an event like this?
Because it's not Oshkosh, it's not Sun and Fun, it's just like a small family event. Everybody can mingle around, you can see everything, meet everybody, and you're not lost in a giant crowd. So it's just good to sort of, put a hand to a face and say hi and, meet people.
Said to somebody who's actually doing this for Sun and Fun Radio. By the way, you can listen to this all year long at liveatc.net/SNF. Coles, how about you? Why do you come to these types of events?
Greg Gibson's a great friend, and he is our media. He's head of media for Plane Crazy Life. So we have taken the opportunity to come to his event to promote it for him and help him with it. But the thing that's been the most impressive for me was that young man that came up with his mom and just started asking me the most in-depth questions.
Young, he means he's 9,
5, 6, 7.
He's asking you,
He was asking me the best questions about the beach and asked me if it had guns, was it a warbird, what was the antenna on top for, just going all over the plane. And that, I would come again and again and again just to talk to one young man like that every time I come.
He's going to be a pilot. He said he was going to be a pilot.
Absolutely, that young man will be a pilot. There's no doubt about it.
So these events are great. You can reach people, you can touch them, that kind of thing. But at an event like Sun and Fun, it's much larger in Oshkosh. But there's still one person, if you can reach, it's important that you do that. It's important to be at all those events. So you get a lot of satisfaction. I know I do. And by the way, Greg Gibson does a great job. He was actually one of the first people to host one of our flight teams. So big shout out to Greg and all that he does.
And we're coming to Sun and Fun. We'll be there in full force. We're going to be there all week. We're going to have a tent. We're going to have a T-28. We're going to have this, maybe 2 T-28s. Nanchang, and maybe an Instrom helicopter. So we'll have a nice little gathering at the Plane Crazy Life tent.
So out of all you folks here, I know you're all very well spoken. Who gets the most airtime?
Maybe me, just because I've got that other channel and a foreign accent.
And you've been out of the country for a while, like you told me.
Yeah, I've been in America for 32 years. 32 years. And I barely say aluminum.
Aluminum. How do you say aluminum?
Aluminium is the correct pronunciation.
Somebody else that's not just passionate about aviation, but about helping people and helping animals is Michael Kennedy. Michael, one of the things that I love about you is the fact that you really do make a difference through your aircraft in helping animals. What is it that you do in your outreach?
Well, we've got a wildlife sanctuary on our property, and we've got a lot of exotic animals there, big cats, tigers, crocodiles, venomous snakes, and cattle too. But yeah, the exotic stuff. The licenses and all that I have would be almost impossible to come by now, and I've kept my licenses current for many, many years, just for situations like our white tiger came from a circus that had closed down, and he'd been a performing cat for 15 years, and his trainer called me when the show shut down and was looking for a place to put him. And if you don't find somebody like me that has the capabilities, the skills, the licenses, and the facilities to take on an animal like that, they probably just put it down. So I feel somewhat obligated to take him in, but I also feel honored to give him a home for the last years of their life. And he died about a year ago, but he was 22 years old. He had a great life, and he loved people. And I know circuses and shows tend to get a bad name. People say the animals are mistreated, but this tiger loved people so much, he couldn't have been mistreated a day in his life. The bigger the crowd, the better he liked it. He thought it was time to put on a show. He was a great animal, 650-pound tiger, and he was like a house cat.
Did you get him in the airplane?
I never tried, but this would fly with him in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not many planes have the useful load to put him in it, but this one would do it.
You know, something I'm curious, I was going to ask you offline, but I'll ask you anyway, is, I've had 2 endangered species licenses. Any idea how many you have?
Endangered species licenses?
Yeah, to actually have them.
Well, I'm Class 1, Class 2 carnivores for feline, crocodilian, venomous snakes, and that covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And I've had everything for the cats. I've had everything from bobcats, Canadian lynx, all the way up to the tiger, leopards. My first cat was a lion. I've had many, many species of crocodiles. We've been lucky enough to breed Cuban crocodiles, they're a critically endangered animal, and it's been a real honor to be successful at breeding them.
Have you ever had snakes on planes?
Oh yeah. Well, one of my primary interests in snakes, and yeah, I've moved a lot of snakes around, go pick them up, and
Mike's been bitten by them.
Absolutely. I can imagine a few times.
Cobras, rattlesnakes, yeah. Not something you want to do too often.
But getting back to the flying portion of this, have you guys ever been able to bring up some of the animals like he's done, or is that something you stay away from?
Well, we have helped Laurie with the Big Dog Ranch Rescue,
yes.
And North Palm, here in Florida, North Palm. So we helped her save some dogs from a kill shelter in North Carolina. We'd like to do more of that, but we love our animals. My dog's over here.
We had 8 dogs in the Beach 18.
I think it was Greg right now.
Greg Gibson.
Yeah, there were 8 dogs in the Beach 18 flown from North Carolina down here to Florida and rescued them 1 hour before they were euthanized. And we have an episode on Plane Crazy Life about that.
And that's so terrific. And for those folks that are into helping out with just, pilots and paws, even something simple like that, you can make a big difference in not just people's lives, but also animal lives. And they are part of our family, those animals, that's for sure. So let me ask you one thing. what is your favorite thing about flying? Think about this for a second. What is your favorite thing about flying?
First, I feel fortunate to be able to be up there when so few people get to experience that. I think my favorite thing about flying is taking people flying. I once flew Santa and Mrs. Claus into the James Island Yacht Club in Charleston, South Carolina, and I told the commandant of the yacht club that I would take the cooks for a little flight in an R-44. And so I parked it with the tail rotor out over the seawall so nobody could walk into it. And the commandant, I trained him on how to lock in 3 passengers. And just to make a long story shorter, 263 people later, I was running low on fuel, and I had to stop. Everybody, the cooks got in line, 11 of them. Then all the people that were there got in line. Then the people that were there got on their cell phones and told the other people that weren't there to come there that there were free helicopter rides. So I love giving people rides and just it's sharing what I'm fortunate enough to be able to do. And the show gives us the opportunity to do that. We've come up with this thing that we say the show's really not about airplanes. The airplanes just get us to and from the show. It's about the people, the places, and the experiences that we have.
How about you? What's your favorite thing, if you can name something about flying?
Actually, very similar to Cole, giving people rides who've never flown before and just, the marveling at it. But what I find personally is just the day-to-day running around A to B that's supposed to become boring. Here we are 32 years later, and I still watch the shadows separate as I lift off, and I look down and I think, how does that work? That is just so brilliant to sit in a chair in the air and just rocket from one place to another for 10 gallons an hour. It's amazing.
So nice to hear that from people that have been doing this for so long. They're still passionate about aviation. How about you, Michael? What's your favorite thing about flying?
Well, about flying in general is kind of what they said, but one of the biggest honors I've gotten from being on the show like Airplane Repo and stuff is I go to an event like this or Oshkosh or Sun and Fun or anything, and the number of people that come up to me and say they learned to fly because of me when watching the show and how thrilled they were to watch. And I just think what an honor to help bring the next generation up into aviation like that.
This is such an honor to talk to all of you, and you're all are definitely ambassadors for aviation. And, you feel that weight sometimes, but you guys have so much fun doing it.
It is a lot of fun doing it. And just along with what Mike just said, I've had, because of my Skywagon University channel, I've had people call me up and said, I watched your channel and you talked about restoring a 206, so I did, and I'm in it $400,000, and I'm like, sorry. So they love it, but they called me to tell me they've done it, but sometimes you get something where you're influencing somebody to do something they thought about doing but just didn't.
What's neat about all you guys to me is not just the fact that you're passionate about aviation, you're passionate about the people that are involved in aviation, and that is so important, and that's so important to move it and pay it forward in life, and that's really what you all are doing. In my view, is you're paying it forward, and I really appreciate you all for doing that. First of all, we got to make sure we find where you guys are on the internet. PlaneCrazyLife.com.
Yeah, so it's PlaneCrazyLife.net is the website, and the YouTube channel is Plane Crazy Life. And we have 8 episodes out as of now, but we're trying to put out 1 a week. So it's a new channel, and we'd like it if anybody would subscribe and like and buy our merchandise and do everything you do with social media. That would be very helpful.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to say before we knock off about Plane Crazy Life and all that you do? I do want to say again that I really appreciate everything you folks do, because you truly are ambassadors for aviation. Remember that, and the next time in your next episode is somebody's going to be affected by whatever you say or whatever you do, and then that might spark that passion for aviation. I really appreciate it. This is Carl Valeri for Sun and Fun Radio reporting here, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. Hey folks, this is Carl Valeri with Sun and Fun Radio. We're reporting here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. And I'm here with Patrick Livesey, and he's the president of the Tampa Bay Aviation Association. I was a member years ago, about to rejoin, and one of the things I love about Tampa Bay Aviation Association is the fact that they do a lot of outreach, and this right here, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, is one of those things. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Carl. Nice to meet you. Appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about Tampa Bay Aviation Association and what they're doing here in Plant City.
Yes, sir. Tampa Bay Aviation Association, it's TBAA. We're a nonprofit organization, and our mission statement, our goal is to foster environment that allows aviation to thrive in the Tampa Bay area. So a couple things that we do is social events. We have one that's coming up in the month of May, and if you just check out our website at mytbaa.org, there is an events tab, and you can go on there and check all of our future events coming up.
So how did you get involved, and in general, how does somebody get involved?
Yes, sir. How did I get involved? I was a member of TBAA several years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. Because of COVID, the TBAA was going to basically shut down. So Marilyn, the vice president, approached me and asked if I like to revive Tampa Bay Aviation Association. I was the EAA chapter president at Plant City Airport. I've known Marilyn for many, many years. It's a great organization, so I agreed to it. Myself and a couple great friends, we restarted the organization, and we kind of adjusted the mission statement, and I can explain more about that if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, you're doing a great job. And the team that has been put together is really bringing it forward. And great job also on the website.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. But also I am a pilot at the Plant City Airport. But back to our mission statement. Again, we're a nonprofit organization. So aviation safety is very important. I am a safety person for the FAA. So we do hold pilot controller forums with the FAA FAST team seminars. We do that every quarter. We have one coming up in the month of May at the Sky Center at Tampa International Airport. We will also have the Rusty pilot refresher course with AOP. They'll be there, and then also we'll have a fast team person there to teach about aviation safety. Another thing that we do is support our community by participating in charity events and fundraising. So one way that we do that is golf tournaments. We're going to have one coming up in the month of October. But the past golf tournaments that we've done 10 or more years, we're able to donate around $86,000 to the Johns Hopkins All Children Hospital. And then every year we have a holiday party, and all the funds that we raise from our holiday party, we sponsor a organization called Broadway Magic. Last but not least, today at Planes, Trains, Automobile, one of the last few things that we do to help support the community is encourage local youth education programs. So basically scholarships. We get our scholarship funds from the events that we do, like today, Planes, Trains, and Automobile here at Plant City Airport. And then next month at Peter O'Knight Airport, we're doing the gala event. We're so lucky, the Ray Foundation scholarship, we did create a partnership with them. So the Ray Scholarship, it's allowing us to give more funds to the scholarships. So what I mean by that, today we're able to give a total of $20,000 in scholarships. Yeah. So we did two 10,000 scholarships at today's event. But yeah, at Gala, again, we're going to give some more scholarships. And then another thing that we do over the summer months is we sponsor a summer camp at the Tampa Executive Airport for the Boys and Girls Club. Year over year, it's getting so popular. It's doing so well. I know this past summer they did the boys and girls. They did one session. It was so much demand for that. They were able to do another short session before the summer months ended.
So as far as Tampa Bay Aviation Association, it does a lot of outreach, and that's great. How about for someone who's looking for the business side of things? Do you do a lot of networking events also?
Oh, yes, sir. Yep. Our social events that we have at the Pilot Controller Forums, we network with local businesses. It's just through all of our events, the gala, the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. safety seminars that we do. A lot of people, we do have networking sessions. So when we build our agenda, we build in some time there where we can network. So we do that as well. I know in the years past, we put on a big safety seminar. It's been several years, but we did do one at Lakeland Airport. We had Garmin there and a lot of different vendors there. It was basically a full day long event. We had a lot of different sponsors, a lot of different businesses. Basically, you just kind of go through the different booths, and we had the FAST team there. You can earn your wings credit, and that was all free, and that's probably something we're looking to do the next year coming.
How about if someone's listening online right now, how can they find out more? Is it mytbaa.org, correct?
Yes, sir, mytbaa.org. We have 3 different levels of membership. A single membership's $50, business membership's $295, and you can bundle up to 10 team members on that. And then we have a student membership, which is free of charge. If you go look at that, sign up, and then you'll get all of the email and information of our current and future events.
Outstanding. How about this here? I mean, one of the things I love about Plant City and the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is you do a lot of outreach, and you guys are a big sponsor here in putting this together. It's just so neat to see people come out here and get inspired and get involved in aviation. What's your favorite thing about this show?
My friend got me started in aviation about 20 years ago. He took me for a flight up in his airplane. He had a Cessna 210, and I instantly got hooked. But growing up, my dad, he was in the Air Force, and he did aircraft mechanics on that. So growing up, I was kind of around airplanes at the Air Force Base, and but just getting that ride, it kind of just re-sparked my passion for aviation. I fly at least once or twice a week. I do own an airplane, a Mooney, and it's just amazing where you can just go up and fly and just see the world, and take your family on vacation, and it's just amazing.
Absolutely is, and they can actually be introduced to that here.
Yes. Young Eagles Flight. There's a chapter, EAA, chapter at Plant City Airport here. They meet the third Saturday every month at 9 a.m. I know right now they're doing a sign-ups for Young Eagles for the month of March. I believe you can go online and sign up and get a Young Eagles ride.
And that's something that I think everybody should look towards, because there's so many pilots out there that said, I got involved because of my Young Eagles flight, and that's terrific. And also the flights here, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, is going to happen again next year, so make sure you plan for that in the future. It's a very welcoming community. People are so willing to share their passion of aviation, and like you said, you really enjoy being up there. But if you know somebody who's kind of thinking about getting involved, is there any advice you would give somebody, a person that's thinking about and is on the fence about flying airplanes?
Just visit your local flight school. Just go in and just meet with an instructor, or if you have a friend, just reach out to me at mytba.org. We fly out as a group every Sunday. Most times we have 5-6 airplanes, and maybe only 6 or 7 people go with us, and we have a lot of empty seats, and we all want to fly. So a lot of times we end up taking 5 airplanes, and there's only 6 or 7 of us, but we do fly out for breakfast every Sunday. But yeah, just go to your local airport, go visit them, just go hang out, and then I'm sure you'll be able to connect with a pilot or someone that can kind of give you more exposure to the aviation lifestyle.
I think that's great advice. Just go hang out, because people love to talk about flying, and someone's going to say something about airplanes, and you'll get involved. Well, thanks so much for meeting with us. Is there anything else you want to say about mytbaa.org?
Just look us up at mytbaa.org, and really appreciate the support, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Well, thanks so much. Again, this is Carl Valeri reporting here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. You can listen to this live all year long at liveatc.net/SNF. Safe flying out there. Hello, folks. This is Carl Valeri reporting here from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. I'm here with Wes Kircher, who owns Real Clean Aircraft Detailing, and it's actually a really cool-looking truck. I like the logo on the side. So first of all, Wes, before we talk about aircraft detailing, how do you like the show?
Oh, I love the show. This is such a great experience, and thank you for having me here, by the way. We were so excited to be involved. We were actually the first one to sign up here. And just the concept of planes, trains, and automobiles all together, so fun. So part of the thing is that we're here at our booth having a good time, but we're also wandering away and going and looking at the planes and the trains and the autos, and just having a really good time as participants too.
Absolutely. When I first pulled up here, he was out looking at something today, but it really is one of the neatest things for the ability of a young person to come out, get introduced to aviation, or trains, or whatever it may be. I think that's really, really neat, and that's why I love coming to these events. So what's your favorite thing about the event today?
Well, I think my favorite thing is aircraft detailing, of course, but no, it's got to be the planes. And I've been walking around talking to a lot of the plane owners today, and just, partially because it's business, but also mostly just because I'm having fun. Just talking to them, learning about their planes, and learning about some of their great experiences with their airplanes and some of their trips.
So you must be into airplanes. Tell us a little bit about your background flying-wise.
Right, so when I was in college, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. So as I was looking at different options, one of the options was going into flying. And it was either that or maybe going into the corporate world. And eventually what I decided to do was go into the corporate world for work, but get my pilot's license for fun. And so that's what I did for many years.
So now you're doing aircraft detailing. How did you get into aircraft detailing?
Right, so I retired from the corporate IT world, and frankly I was bored, and I was kind of looking around and saying to myself, I want to do something I'm passionate about. And so I just knew that it had to be aviation, because I've always loved aviation. But I really, I wasn't really ready to get back in the cockpit, but I wanted to do something where I could go touch the planes, be out on the tarmac, do all those fun things, and really get to experience being around the planes and the helicopters as much as possible, and this was the perfect fit.
So this really was a passion project, it seems.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, and it still is. I mean, it's if it was all about, running a great business and making a ton of money, probably not the best decision, but if you want to do something you're passionate and fun about, then definitely this is it.
You ever get to go flying in some of those planes?
Not yet, but haven't been invited yet, but we'll see. We'll see.
So what type of planes do you detail?
We detail anything from two-seaters like Icon A5s all the way up to 20-seat Gulfstreams. We also detail helicopters. One of our best clients is Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and they have a fleet of helicopters, so we detail those.
So if someone's going to try to find you online, where would they go?
Yeah, the best thing to do is go to realcleanaircraft.com, and you will find me and find a whole bunch of other locations, but it'll get you right to me, and you can click a button that will let me know that you're interested, and I'll contact you right away.
Awesome. Now, this show here, have you detailed any of these airplanes out here?
No, we have not detailed any airplanes here at this location yet. But we're certainly open to it. I mean, the FBO is Atlas Aviation, and we do detail airplanes at Peter O'Knight in Tampa, which is their other location. So we're not quite here yet, but we're very, very closely related.
What's your favorite airplane out here, or do you have one? I actually love the one with all the different colors on it, and there's another one that's a pink Long Easy.
Yeah, that Velocity is really cool. That's beautiful airplane, but that's a very interesting question. I mean, I love them all for different reasons. I mean, from the beautiful pink one there, or the Citation that you can fit more friends on, or just regular 4-6-seater. I mean, they've all got their purpose, and I'd take any of them.
So we were just talking offline about the fact that we enjoy this air show compared to some of the bigger ones out there. So why do you like this type of air show that's really small like this?
Well, it's really great because we're able to get a lot of exposure here, and we've gotten to talk to a lot of people. I'm not sure that the bigger air shows that we can really do that, but we'll keep trying. But this is definitely a lot closer as you get to talk to a lot more people.
Curious, what's the difference, say, between aircraft detailing, and I'm sure you get this question, and car detailing?
Totally different. It's different products and it's different processes. And actually, some of our clients have told us that they specifically call us because their car detailer damaged their aircraft. And also, car detailers generally not allowed on the tarmac because they don't have the right insurance. So there's a lot of potential problems there. I would highly recommend going with an aircraft detailer before a car detailer for your aircraft.
You know, as pilots, we say the most dangerous times after maintenance and also after cleaning your airplane. Any advice there when something comes back from a detailing job?
Well, I can just tell you that we have a checklist before and after every job that we go through to make sure that we don't introduce any risk to the pilot.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's really important. I'm glad you do that. Again, they can find you online?
Absolutely, and they can also call us at 813-371-0590.
Terrific. Well, I've been enjoying the show, and it's been absolutely terrific. Just seeing all the young people out here getting inspired to do something. If some young person is like, well, that's what I want to do someday, be an aircraft detailer, what would you tell them?
Well, that's a great question because I've actually had several people walk up today and ask me about jobs with us. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity there. It is a really fun business, and like I said, you get to be right there with the planes without the large expense of flying itself. So you actually make money instead of spending a ton of money.
I like that.
What we also find is that, for example, Lewis here and one of our other associates, Ethan, they're both pilots. So a lot of times pilots, as they're getting themselves through pilot training, they're working here, in order to pay for their pilot training.
Well, you know what? That could be a real good networking opportunity, couldn't it? Cleaning someone's aircraft.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure some of these people will find jobs that way, and unfortunately they're going to bounce onto something else, but I guess you expect that, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We understand that if somebody comes in and says, yeah, I want to do this so I can get my pilot's license, we know that there's an amount of time that we're going to have them working with us, and that's okay.
Absolutely. Well, you're absolutely passionate about aviation. I love that. Wes Kircher at realcleanaircraft.com. Go check them out online. They'll come to you and they'll clean your aircraft and do a great job. I've been looking at the folks here that work with you, and they're very passionate about aviation, about the people here, and I think that's a key to you and what you do and shines through in your business. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. And we serve all the airports around the Tampa Bay area, and we'll come to you, no problem at all, and we're glad to help.
Awesome. And this is Carl Valeri reporting here at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 2026. You can listen to us live, liveatc.net/SNF.